unattended. It's so complex and dynamic, but at the same time, it has to be so user-friendly too for our operators.
Yeah.
From my perspective, we're doing our job here correctly at Nayax if our operators almost forget who they're using for their payments because it's been so integrated into their business and it's working so well.
Coffee, micro markets and vending dreams. Break room legends and winning teams. Neil drops gold from behind the scenes.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. I've got a guest today that I'm very excited to chat to for a couple of reasons, which we'll get into a minute. But Carly, welcome to the show, and I really appreciate you taking the opportunity to have a chat for a few minutes.
Thanks for having me, Neil. It's going to be great to catch up.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, so tell us a little bit about your role at Nayax. And first and foremost, congratulations on the amazing business results. So you're having an absolute stellar year.
Thank you. Thank you. We have been. I feel like it's the culmination of years and years of hard work to be able to keep having the results that we're having. So it's been very exciting to be part of it.
Tell us about your role. What are you? You're the CEO of Nayax North America. Tell us about you.
That is correct. Exactly. So I've been with Nayax for a little over 12 years. I first started in more of a finance capacity. So I was the subsidiary CFO. So got to be part of a very exciting change with Nayax when we were buying back key distributors globally and making them wholly owned subsidiary companies. So of course, one of those was In1 Technologies, which was based in Hunt Valley, Maryland. So we had bought the distributorship and made it into a wholly owned company of Nayax, which now became Nayax North America or Nayax US. And so I was originally in a finance capacity and basically kind of threw my hat in the ring and said, you know what? I think this is such a really cool industry and I would like more out there with customers. And I actually really believe in the whole unattended payments industry. And I think I can really get a lot more involved with it beyond just the finance role. So 10 years ago then, I had the opportunity to become the CEO of North America, which for Nayax includes US and Canada. And at that time, we were a pretty small little entity. And so it's been really great to be part of this for the past 10 years and now be at where we're one of the leaders in the industry.
Yeah, congratulations. Now, I've been keeping an eye on things and things look like they're flying. But hey, I like what you said earlier. This is a cool industry, right? I've been doing this now for 30 years. And the thing that I love about it is just the entrepreneurship of our guys. We just did a video last week. It was a guy who started in Minnesota 20 years ago, started off with gumball machines, built that business, transferred it into full service vending and just let it go to Canteen for like $10 million. And he's just a prime example, right? Of the entrepreneurship of our industry. Are you the same? Is that one of the things you like about it?
I do. I feel it's a really great group of people overall. Like you said, very startup feel and entrepreneurial and just that real hustle before hustle, I think even became kind of a trendy thing to say that we were doing. And specifically, I really like the payment side of unattended. It's so complex and dynamic, but at the same time, it has to be so user-friendly too for our operators. From my perspective, we're doing our job here correctly at Nayax if our operators almost forget who they're using for their payments because it's been so integrated into their business and it's working so well.
You don't want anyone calling you because if they're not calling you, it means everything's going great.
Well, of course, only calling for sales, right? Because they want to just expand their partnership with Nayax or to be able to using more features and things like that to keep impacting their business.
Over the last 12 years since you've been in it, you've obviously seen the whole payment spectrum change rapidly, right? We were an all cash business almost 12 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think just the percentage of transactions now that are cashless compared to cash is fascinating. So many operators that I'm speaking to recently, I'd say the past year or two, are actually weighing out if they even want to take cash, of course, pending what's legally allowed in their
Yeah.
state and things like that. But just the cashless adoption overall has really accelerated the past several years. And even I think diving into it deeper, the contactless acceptance has accelerated so much. I feel like it was just a few years ago, the contactless cards paying by Apple or Google Pay or tapping your credit card was 3% of all the cashless transactions. Now, some of our operators were seeing 85, 90% of their transactions, our cashless transactions, are actually contactless. So it's
Yeah.
fascinating to see how things are trending.
Yeah, and I love it because one of the things about our industry, we're a sort of a low margin industry. And having cash, there was a lot of hands in the cash buckets. So now moving to 85% cashless has probably helped their margins a little bit because there's no theft.
Yeah, and I think even beyond the theft, right? The cost of actually accepting cash is
Yeah,
very expensive, right? You always hear about people saying they're having trouble, sometimes even figuring out where they can deposit in
yeah,
cash. So yeah, with the theft, the actual cost of the
yep.
collections, the having bill jams and all of that, it definitely there's a pretty strong cost associated to it.
Yeah, definitely. And that reminds me of a story when in the day, I was a sales rep for Coke and Pepsi, or Coke and then Pepsi, but I had a little vending company on the side. And I used to think I was so cool. I'd literally take three or four $500 bags of 25-cent coins or whatever, and then hundreds and hundreds of stacks of $1 bills in cash. And I thought I was so cool. But I could see the tellers like, oh no, here comes that vending guy with all his
Yeah, they
cash. It's going to
definitely
take
were
us.
not thinking you were as cool, right? Because of the work they had to do, right? Behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
yeah. They were like, oh, please go to another teller. I don't want you to come here and lock me down for the next 45 minutes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
right there, lots of savings and moving to cashless, like you said.
And most importantly too, right? It's how actually consumers want to pay, right? People
Yeah,
are paying all of the time in traditional retail environments
yeah,
with cashless,
yep,
different cashless options. So this
yep,
is what kind of is the expectation now also for unattended. So
yep,
it's we
yep.
we have
We
to
are.
listen to what the people who are actually that our businesses run by
Yes.
buying our products and services actually want to be paying for those products and
Yep.
services.
Totally understand. We are the convenience services industry, right? So we have to make it
Yeah,
super convenient.
that is
Hey,
true.
hey, so you've had fantastic business results to date. What are some of the things that are driving your results?
It's a few things. And of course, we just touched on just in general consumer adoption of cashless, right?
Mhm.
And beyond that, too, for Nayax, vending, food and bev is a very large part of our footprint, but unattended obviously is very far reaching too. So we've had great traction. Last week, actually, the week before that, I was in Vegas because we actually had two trade shows going on at the same time, one for the amusement industry and one for the EV charging industry. So I think that really kind of epitomized the unattended payments
Yeah,
footprint now. Yeah, so I mean, our growth is the multiple verticals. It's also, as I've been coining it beyond the transaction. So with Nayax, payments is our core. That's our center of gravity.
yeah,
But looking at the entire payments ecosystem is not just the standard cashless transaction. It's also what we're doing with the payment transaction too. So embedded loyalty, embedded financing. We're even now
yeah,
starting to roll out embedded banking services. So being able to kind of close the loop for our operators and also giving them the option to have a bank account associated with the Nayax group where
yeah.
they can also have benefits beyond just paying out to a third party bank account that they have. So I
Yeah,
think a
that's a
lot of our
great
success,
idea. That's
I
really
think,
cool because banking is complicated. We've had some banking issues with our Zippy product recently, and
yeah.
I never realized banking could play such a large role, but that is a great idea.
Yeah, and actually, one of the reasons why it came up, I was really I'm constantly surprised at how often people are requesting to change their bank accounts that we're depositing into as the payment facilitator, either because of just issues or poor support or increased fees or lack of kind of the basic functionality that they need. So that's kind of where this idea came from, right? Is really thinking about being truly customer centric for our operators. And this is geared more to our SMB customers and nano customers, obviously not our enterprise customers, but being able to give that full solution when they give it beyond just the transaction, but still within the realm of being payments first.
Yep. I love it. What do you think about the rise of the smart cooler? I know you guys have got your Nova smart cooler. There's another big opportunity for growth, right?
I'm fully on board. It really
Yeah.
makes sense. It's taking the best of both worlds, right? When we're talking about a traditional vending machine and then a micro market by still having something behind the glass, but having all the flexibility of being able to offer different varieties of products and easier to provide fresh foods. It just makes sense. So yeah, so we are fully on board with the smart cooler idea, and it's become, as you mentioned, part of our what we're calling our Nova product line of self-checkout products. We have our Nova Market, which is the self-checkout POS for micro markets, as well as now also our Nova Cooler, which are powered by different AI technologies that are on the market.
Yeah. I've been through regular vending machines transition over to glass fronts, from cashless to payment to new tap pay and all that stuff. But this smart cooler buzz that I'm seeing, for me, be one of the biggest transitions out there.
It completely makes sense to me. And also as a consumer, we have, for instance, we actually got rid of the vending machines that are in our office and we replaced them with different smart coolers. So
Yeah.
I personally, the smart cooler every
Yep.
day. I love it as a consumer.
Yep. Love it. Hey, now you referred about to banking earlier. Is that your new yellow account that you've are promoting?
And it, we're going to be calling, yes, calling the yellow account.
And is it available, ready to go?
We're actually rolling it out in a pilot phase now, but
Okay.
yep, technology is there, getting feedback from some of our trusted kind of preferred operators who like to be the first to try different products, getting really good feedback.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Good, good. Is Nayax, are you guys open? When you develop all these products, do you have a great relationship with your customers and the feedback comes up from the operators to keep an eye on what you should build for the horizon?
100%. I think one of the many reasons we've been seeing the success that we've been having is because at our core, we are a technology company. We're a development
Yeah.
company. So really everything that we have has been built more or less on the requests of our operators. Everything
Yeah.
from the actual products, like the demands for smart coolers, to
Mhm.
features, right? We have a very trusted operator that's part of the Canteen franchise group who helped us with building out our RPC functionality, right? And that was
Mhm.
coming from his demand and also his experience to be able to make sure that the development was really, really user friendly for the operators. But I think it's what also differentiates us from some of the other players is we don't see it. Here is what
Yeah.
we offer.
Yeah.
Here's our VMS. Here's our solution. And if it doesn't work, you're kind of best out of luck. We really value the feedback and it's constantly evolving based on what our customers need.
Love that. And I am new to technology. Part of my little entrepreneurial things is launching our Zippy Assist product. And I just want to say a
It's a
big
great
thank
product.
you. It's a great product. We have a great
It is.
integration with your Vensys VMS.
Yes.
So we appreciate that. But yeah, that's the thing about Zippy as well, is we're 100% open ears to the operated community. What do you want us to build into this? Who do you want us to integrate with? And it came out early. Lots of customers wanted an integration into Vensys VMS. That
We
is,
actually rebranded Ventus just so it is now called Vencore Pro. But yeah, I do know that there were plenty of requests and it was a pleasure doing the integration with you guys, with you and your team. And talk about another product for operators that just makes sense, right? I think sometimes as technology companies, it's very easy to kind of think of the technology standalone, like in its own bubble, and not be thinking of it as a consumer. So
yeah,
in the Zippy Assist, I think it just like makes sense, right? Like this is
yeah,
actually apps that there are with end consumers and
yeah,
operators.
yeah, exactly. Carly, one of the things I know about you that I don't think the guests would know is you were a professional surfer back in the day, right?
I was not a professional surfer. I
Okay.
did surf competitively though. So
Competitive surfer.
I
Okay.
did compete. So yes, when I was still young and cool, before I became, just another corporate middle-aged mom.
Back
Yeah,
in
that
the
was
day.
right when we were in our teens and 20s. So
Exactly. We did lots of things. Now, how did the surfing thing come about? Did you grow up on the water?
I sure did. I grew up in San Diego. So
Okay.
I learned to surf pretty early on, always loved, and I still love the ocean. Yeah, I mean, I went to a high school, for instance, where you had the option to have surf PE. So
Oh
instead
my
of traditional
gosh.
PE, so we would get to go surf before school as part of PE. And then I started surfing competitively in high school. And then I went to college. I went to UCSB, so University of California, Santa Barbara, and
Okay.
also kept surfing. So,
Awesome.
and then eventually had to transition into the real world, which
So you
was
don't
sort of
leave the Maryland office from time to time, like when there's a big 6 foot swell coming in, you're not leaving the office. You're,
up driving 3 hours
oh
to then be
gosh.
in the Atlantic anyways. If I
Yeah.
was in San Diego
Yeah.
or in California, I think it would
Yeah.
be a little different. But we do definitely prioritize our vacation time around getting to
The
go to the
beach.
beach, even
Love
if
that.
it's just
Yep.
getting to roll around and swim and just be in the ocean.
Grew up surfing and same thing. I don't surf now, but just to be in the waves, even if I'm just bobbing in the waves and
Yeah, well, just bobbing around, yeah, and
yeah.
just being in
Yep. Hey, there's one
love.
question I want to ask you about surfing. I know the answer for me, but is there anything you've learnt that you apply in business that you learnt from actually surfing?
Good question. I never thought about that. I think patience. It's a good
Yep.
one, right? One of the things about surfing too is obviously you have to be patient and waiting for sets to come in and
Yep.
timing, right?
Timing.
Surfing more than anything is about the timing, right? Being in the right position when the sets come in so that you can obviously catch the
Totally.
wave. So I think,
Yep.
and that is not luck, right? Yeah.
No.
There is things that are out of our control with surfing, like is it a good spell? But
Yeah.
then it's also about ensuring that you're putting yourself in the right position to then
Yeah.
achieve success, right? So
Totally right. Yep.
time it
Yeah.
out and research and yeah, actually, I guess there is quite a lot of
I gave a little speech at the NAMP show last year because I won the Allied Member of the Year award
I know.
that I was
Congratulations.
so
Well deserved.
proud of because I put so much time and effort into this. And not in a million years I thought I would ever win an award. So I was actually quite shocked when they gave it to me. But one of the surfing references I made in that speech is in a 2 hour session of surfing, you might only get 4 or 5 rides that last 10 seconds each.
Yeah.
And you've actually spent about an hour and 3/4 just getting beat down, falling off, biting the sand, tumbling around
Yeah.
in the wave.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's business, right? Sometimes in business, you take an absolute beating. That's where you need a company like Nayax coming in, right? Because you don't want to take the same amount of beatings in business as you do in surfing. And so when it comes to technology, especially, you need it to work. It takes a lot of time and effort for the operators to win these accounts. And now the last thing they want is to be let down by the technology.
It's a great analogy. That really is. And also, I think there's so much with payments that's going on behind the scenes, and not to devalue any other technology components that's part of unattended
Mhm.
retail, but really from the payment side, right? I mean, you have compliance, you have security, beyond the fact that it just also needs to work, right? At the end of the day, if the payment isn't successful, regardless of what the reason is, right? For
Yep.
a multitude of reasons, it's going to always come down to my payments provider, my payment solution provider. It's their fault, right? So that's also been something that's very important to me, is to ensure that as much as we can, that we are
Mhm.
setting our customers, our operators up for success and a successful transaction,
Yep.
and doing all the legwork behind the scenes. I think
Exactly.
a lot of people don't
Yep.
realize how complex it really is between the card brands and the issuing bank and the acquiring bank and
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
the different flows that happen as part of the greater ecosystem.
Yep.
Operators shouldn't have to. I'm not a specialist at all or have expertise in actually running a vending operation. I do
Yeah.
know payment. And
Yeah.
so I think for all trying to do everything ourselves, jack of all trades, you become the master of none.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
hope we always strive then to be that
Yeah.
payments expert so that the
Yep.
operators can be experts on what they do best.
Exactly. I love that analogy because when a customer walks up to a machine and takes 5 seconds to buy that bag of Lay's potato crisps or chips in America, they don't realize the effort that has gone in between your company and payments and all that versus the operators, equipment, warehouses to get that bag of chips there is actually not effortless.
A lot of technology just to be able to like fight your 4 p.m. energy slump. Yeah.
Final questions, Carly.
Sure.
First and foremost, what do you think about the merger, the 365 Cantaloupe? Was that a shock when you heard that come out, or did you know that was going down?
Feel like I'm not going to answer this right now. Do know I'm not going to answer anything like this right now.
Stay away. Stay away.
I'm going to be so PC right now. And
Good.
now I will become the corporate, I'll put my incredibly public company corporate hat on and say that I have no comment one way or another.
You didn't even know that was going down.
I have no comment one way or another. And truthfully, my focus is always on holding ourselves to the highest standards and focusing on what our customers are needing and how we can keep delivering best in class solutions and not being too highly focused where
I like
what
that.
other people are doing too. But I believe that our focus should be on hitting our own personal best.
Love that. So next month, NAMA, Los Angeles. Are you guys all set? And have you got anything new that's coming out?
So excited for NAMA. I love NAMA. And we do a lot of trade shows in Nayax because we're part of so many different unattended verticals too. But from the Nayax perspective, we're going to be showing, of course, our No Cooler. And we are going to be rolling out fully the yellow account, which we mentioned, the embedded banking, and some other cool features that are enhancements also to just the entire payment ecosystem. From our standpoint, the actual payment device is just the enabler, right? It's all about the software, the integrations and the features behind this scene that keep adding value. So really excited for just getting to show our continuation of our self-checkout products and journey, and of course all of the food and bev unattended specific features, functionality, value that we create. So and mostly just to speak to our customers, our operators.
I like the most just catching up with everyone and seeing what's new, and all the exciting technology and snacks is awesome too. Well, Carly, listen, I really appreciate you jumping in here and having a chat and telling us a little bit about